Hello everyone, it's Yoshka and welcome back to my channel. Yeah, I know it's been a long time since I posted one, but here's now. We're looking at Ian Livingstone's fighting fantasy City of Thieves, personally one of my favorite books. So let's read the blurb. Terror stalks the night as Zamba-born and his bloodthirsty moondogs hold the prosperous town of Silverton to ransom. You're an adventurer, and the merchants of Silverton turn to you in the hour of need. Your mission takes you along dark, twisting streets where thieves, vagabonds, and creatures of the night lie in wait to trap the unwary traveler. And beyond lies the most fearsome adventure of them all, the tower stronghold of the infamous Zamba-born, as you can see over here. 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser are all you need to make your journey. You decide which route to take, which creatures to fight, and which dangers to risk. So let's dive right in. Yeah, this is just a picture of an old wizard. Yeah, I'll skim through all this, but first, in any game, we always have to determine our attributes, our strengths and weaknesses. So over here, it says skill, stamina, and luck. Now I have my notes over here where I already prepared the document. So without further ado, let's roll our starting skill. To be honest, for these game books, I prefer to have the best stats of all time, because to be honest, if the stats are not that great, it's gonna make your life a lot difficult. So just roll one die and see what we get. No, 8. No thanks. Okay, 5. Okay, 11 skill. Could be a lot worse, but 11's good. And now it says roll both dice, add 12 to the number roll, and enter this as the initial stamina. So let's see what we get. 20. Okay, I'll take that. Sorry, I accidentally opened up this, my mistake. And there's also a luck box. Roll 1 die and add 6. Okay, this one is gonna be interesting. Okay, 11. All good, all good. So our stats have been determined. I'll skip all these. You can all just have a read of this. Battles, I'll talk about it later on. Escaping, find more than one creature, not really that much. You just want to say a bit about luck, because when you rely on luck so much, it's quite risky, and sometimes if you're unlucky at times, the results could be disastrous. So at various times during your adventure, either in battles or when you come across situations in which you could be either lucky or unlucky, you may call on your luck, but to make the outcome more favorable. But be warned, using luck is risky, and if you're unlucky, the repercussions could be bad. So the procedure of using luck is the usual process called testing your luck. Is where when you roll the two dice and it's equal or less than your current luck score, you're lucky, and if it's greater, you're unlucky. Yeah, but this one is quite more dangerous, because every time you test your luck, I need to lose 1 luck point, so it's gonna be super risky. Yeah, over here, I just need to read stamina provisions. It says, your stamina score will change a lot during your adventure and as you fight monsters and undertake adventurous tasks. As you near your goal, your stamina level may be dangerously low and battles may be particularly risky, so be careful. Your backpack contains enough provisions for 10 meals, and eating a meal resources 4 stamina points. Okay, let's just write that down. Provisions, we have 10, which is quite good. Blah blah blah, and all the stats must reach can only be restored to the initial level, like the maximum. Like for my skill is 11, and then stamina is 20, luck is 11. So these stats can't roll beyond. So these 11, 20, and 11 are maximums. So equipment and potions. You start your adventure with a bare minimum of equipment, but you may find or buy other items during your travels. You're armed with a sword and are dressed in leather armor. You have a backpack to hold your provisions and any treasures you may come across. So I have a sword, leather armor, and a backpack. Oh, and we can take a magic potion, as you can see. Potion of skill, strength, or fortune. Well, strength is okay. Sorry, I was listening to music earlier. And then, so I think we will just go with the potion of either fortune or strength. I think we will go with fortune, because we have lots of provisions to improve our stamina, so we'll take a potion of fortune. And it says it will add, when drinking the potion of fortune, you can add 1 to your initial luck, and it may only have enough for 1 measure. I'll just write that down. Okay. Hints on play, never mind, we'll just skip that. Okay, I'll just read this really quickly. You're an adventurer in the world of monsters and magic, living by quickness of wit and skill of sword. And it's just an overview of who you are. I'll just read the actual story. One evening, after a long walk throughout the outlands, you arrive at Silverton, which lies at the crossroads of the main trading routes in these parts. Great wooden wagons hauled by teams of oxen are often seen rumbling slowly down the town laden with herbs, spices, silks, metalware, and exotic foods from far-off lands. Over the years, Silverton has prospered, and as a result of the rich merchants and traders stopping there en route to distant markets. Its wealth is quite apparent, with ornate buildings and richly dressed people aplenty. But as you enter the town gates, something strikes you as being not quite right. The people look nervous and on edge. Then you notice that all the windows on the buildings have great iron grills bolted over them, and the doors have been strengthened too. Although you prefer your own company to that of others, you decide to stay in Silverton for the night and to find out who or what's troubling the people. As you walk down the main street, a single note from a bell rings out from a tall tower ahead. Then the man shouts almost desperately, "Nightfall! Nightfall! Everybody indoors!" You see people scurrying across with anxious faces and looking surprised when they see you. Across the street, you see a tavern with the words "The Old Toad" painted on its signboard. As you enter the tavern, a whisper runs down through the locals as they recognize you. Some put down their mugs and stare. You're somewhat surprised that none come over to you to hear tales of adventure. Walking over to the counter, you ask the old innkeeper for a room and a hot tub, but he ignores you and shuffles over to the great oak door, pushing 6 large iron bolts into place. Only then does he turn you and say quietly, "There will be 5 copper pieces for the room and 1 more for the tub in advance, if you please." You reach into a leather pouch on your belt and toss the coins on the counter. He hands you an iron key, but at that very moment there's a loud knocking at the door, followed by a voice shouting, "Open up! Open up! This is Owen Caroliff!" The old innkeeper shuffles over to the old door again and slides open the bolts. Then a fat and balding man dressed in rich scarlet robes bursts into the tavern, looking around frantically. He sees you and walks quickly in your direction, huffing and puffing. He's certainly a man not used to hate. You notice great beads of sweat on his forehead and the pale candlelight of the room. As he nears you, he calls out urgently, "Stranger, I must speak with you. Please sit down. It's important that I speak with you." When he turns to the innkeeper to snap his fingers for food and drink, you can see that he is obviously some standing in the town, but his face is full of anguish and sorrow. Being curious, you decide to hear what the man has to say. He pulls out a chair for you at the table, bidding you to sit down, and the innkeeper bustles in with a tray laden with hot broth, roast goose, and mead. The man in the scarlet robe sits opposite in silence, watching you as you feast as though examining you for some purpose of his own. Finally, as you push your plate away, the man leans forward and says, in a low but anxious voice, "Stranger, I know of you, and I seek your aid. My name is Owen Caroliff, and I'm the mayor of Silverton. We are in great trouble and danger. We're living under a curse, and it is I who must rid us of it. 10 days ago, 2 messengers of evil rode into town on huge black stallions with fiery red eyes. It was impossible to see the faces of their riders, for they wore long black cloaks with hoods pulled over their faces. Their voices were cold, and each word spoken ended with an unnerving hiss. They asked me for their name. They asked me for me by name, and when I came to greet them, they wanted to take my beloved daughter Mirelle to stay with her master, Zambarbone. No doubt you know that he is the Night Prince. Of course, I refused their demand, and without another word, they turned and rode slowly out of the town, heads down and shoulders hunched. I knew that beneath the cloaks were hidden the skeletal and soulless bodies of spirit stalkers. Zambabon always uses them as his messengers, as they will complete their mission or die in the attempt. And they don't die easily. Only a silver arrow through the heart will release those evil beings from the eternal twilight existence. Who knows what it will take to kill Zambarbone? Anyway, that same night, after the spirit stalkers left, our troubles began. The Prince was angry and determined to harm us. 6 moon dogs came, each stronger than 4 men, each with razor-sharp fangs. They stalked through the town and entering the homes through the open windows and killing the poor people inside. In the morning, we counted 23 dead, so we barred our windows and bolted our doors. Yet each night the moon dogs returned and we are unable to sleep for fear that they might find their way into our homes. Some people are now talking of sending Mirror to Zimbabwe. Those whimpering traitors, I should have them flogged. But what good would that do? There is about one hope, and the rest is you, stranger. There's a man called Nicodemus, for who reasons I'll never understand, lives in Port Black Sand. The place is commonly called the City of Thieves, and it's the home of every pirate, brigand, assassin, thief, and evildoer for hundreds of miles around. I think he lives there just to get some peace from the likes of us. He's a wise old wizard and is unlikely to come to much harm even in Port Black Sand, for his magical powers are great. He alone is capable of defeating San Barbone. He used to be a friend of mine many years ago. We need him, and I beg you to bring him to us. None here dares enter Port Black Sand. You'll be well rewarded if you help a stranger. Take these 30 gold pieces for your journey, and take this sword to use and keep. So you have 30 gold right now. And then, as Owen Caliph rises, he pulls back his scarlet rose, revealing the finest broadsword you have ever seen. So I'll change to the broadsword. He hands it to you, and touching the edge of the blade, you're surprised to see a droplet of blood fall from your finger. Then you examine the marvelously ornate gilded serpents twining around the hilt. You've never wanted anything so badly in your life before. You stand up and hold out your right arm to Owen. He shakes it eagerly, saying, "You must set off at the first light of dawn. The moon dogs will be gone by then. I shall be forced to stay the night here also, so let's drink to our destiny and may the gods be with us." For the next hour, Owen talks about your upcoming journey, explaining in detail on how to reach Port Black Sand. Later, you get up your backpack and furs and climb the wooden stairs to your room. You sleep uneasily despite the security afforded by your new broadsword, as you are more than once woken by the sniffing, scratching, and howling of the roaming moon dogs outside. By dawn, you are already awake and dressed, and determined to reach Port Black Sand quickly to find this man Nicodemus. As you leave the tavern, a black cat scurries past your feet and you almost trip. A bad omen, perhaps? The walk to Port Black Sand takes you west for some 50 miles across plains and over hills, fortunately without any harmful encounters. Eventually you reach the coast and see the high city wall surrounding Port Black Sand and the cluster of buildings projecting into the sea like an ugly black mark. Well, that looks menacing. Ships lie anchored in the harbor and smoke rises gently from chimneys. It looks peaceful enough, and it is only when the wind changes that you smell the decay in the breeze to remind you of the evil nature of this notorious place. Following the dusty road north along the coast to the city gates, you begin to notice fearful warnings. Skulls on wooden spikes, starving men in iron cages suspended from the city wall, and black flags everywhere. As you approach the main gate, a chill runs down your spine and you instinctively grip the hilt of your broadsword for reassurance. And the gate you're confronted by a tall guard wearing a black chainmail coat and an iron helmet. Yeah, this guy, he doesn't look friendly at all. He steps forward, bowing the way with his pack, saying, "Who would enter Port Black Sand uninvited? State the nature of your business or go back the way you came." So, we have three options now. We can either tell him that we wish to be taken to Nicodemus, or tell him that we wish to sell some stolen booty, or attack him quickly. Well, attacking him is probably horrible. So no, and I think we're gonna go and ask him that we want to be taken to Nicodemus. So let's go to paragraph 202. I have the book, by the way, but then right now I'm just doing a screen recording, so it's easier though. So I just got a PDF from an archive. Okay, over here. The guard replies that he was sent for an escort to take you to Nicodemus. He reaches up to a small bell on the wall of the guardhouse and rings it 3 times. Almost immediately, 2 other guards come running out of the house, and you're surprised when they each grab hold of one of your arms. The guard with the pipe looks up to the sky and laughs, saying, "So, you want to see Nicodemus, do you? How would you like to see the inside of a dungeon cell instead? Guards, take this fool away to be shackled, and throw away the key." So, we can either allow ourselves to be taken away, attempt to fight the guards, or bribe them. You know what? Let's just actually allowing ourselves to be taken away actually is an advantage. So we'll let ourselves be taken away. So we're in 151. The 2 guards lead you into the guardhouse and take you immediately downstairs to the cells below. There are 4 cells and are all empty except for one which houses a frail white-haired old man. The guards unlock the cell next to the old man's and throw you in, placing your sword on the table outside. The only contents of the cell are a straw mattress and a pail of water. The guards go back upstairs, and as they disappear, the old man gets up off his bed and starts to speak. "You're an outsider, aren't you?" Don't reply. It's obvious. "Do you want me to set you free? Give me 10 gold pieces, and I'll have you out in 5 minutes." The old man then places his arm through the bars of your cell with the palm of his hand upturned. If you wish to give the old man 10 gold, turn to 351. If you rather ignore him, turn to 29. We're going to ignore him. So we're going to 29. Even though this is ignoring people is definitely not one thing I would do in my daily life, but this is a game book, so we'll just see now. You squat down on the mattress and consider what to do next. If you wish to feign illness and throw the iron pail against the bars of the cell to attract the guard's attention, turn to 143. If you wish to inspect the cell closely in hope of finding secret escape route, tune to 230. We're gonna inspect the cell, so we'll go to 230. And here we are. You scratch around in the cracks in the wall and find a loose stone. The old man watches intently as you pull the stone out of the wall. Peering into the hole, you see an iron key. You place it in the lock of your cell and are amazed to feel it turn. Add 1 luck point. Well, maybe the cells didn't have that much security. We don't need luck point anyways. With the cell door open, you put the key back in the hole in the wall and replace the stone. You leave your cell and pick up your sword off the table. Then you call out to the guards, telling them that you think they're stupid and you have seen more life on a troll's breakfast plate than in them. Wow, this is really a roasting one. When did the guards come and said, "What did you say? Okay, sir, we're gonna go kill you." Okay, anyways, quickly provoked, the guards rush down the stairs and you are surprised to see you waiting for them, sword drawn. You fight them one at a time. Now let's do some action. Our first battle. So we have the first city guard, and his skill is 6 stamina, 6. This is enemy attack, my attack, and then we're gonna see who wins. And then the second city guard has a higher skill but a lower stamina. Okay, now I promised to tell you about how to do the process of battles. So the process of battles is simple. So first we roll 2 dice and add the skill value of our enemies, and that would be its attack strength. Then we do the same. We roll 2 dice and add that number to my skill, which is 11. That would be an attack strength. If my attack strength is greater than enemies, I've wounded it and can subtract 2 points from its stamina. And if his is greater than mine, then of course the same happens. I can use luck, where if I score a wound on my opponent and I'm lucky, I can deduct 4 instead of 2. But if I'm unlucky, I only score 1. And if I get wounded, I can test my luck, and if I'm lucky, I only lose 1. But if I'm unlucky, I use 3. I don't think I'll use luck for now. Anyways, this is our first battle. So here we have my online dice roll over here, and let's get into battle. We're gonna fight. So this for the first city guard. His skill is 6. That's 8. That's 14 for his attack strength. My skill is 11, and that's 18. So it's a comfortable win there. So it was 14 to 18. So he loses 2, down to 4. And again, he was a 3. That's 9. I roll a 5. That's 16. So 9 to 16. That was comfortable. One more hit and this guy is done. He was a 10. That's 16. I roll an 8. That's 19. 16 to 19. Yeah, well, she tried to increase his attack strength, but he didn't succeed. So this guy is slain. And now let's see his partner in crime, the second city guard, with a skill of 7. He gets a 5, that's 12. I get an 8, that's 19. So 12 to 19. Nice hit. So that's 3 down. That's 3. He was a 9, that's 16. I roll a 9 as well, and that is 20. 16 to 20. One more hit on this guy, and he is done. He was a 9 again, that's 16. I roll a 3, that's 14. Unbelievable. Oops. 16 to 14. So I lost this one. Maybe he wants to just hurt me for once before he goes to heaven. So he rolls a 5, that is 12, and I roll an 11, that is 22. So 12 to 22, and this guy is gone. Oops. Okay, so we have won, defeated the pair of guards. So let's go to 54 and see what happens. You search the guardhouse and find 2 gold pieces and a merchant's pass. Cool. Okay, take your find with you, you creep outside, the guy at the main gate doesn't see you, and you walk into the city. Okay, let's go. Through the main gates, you see that the rubbish-filled streets of the port are narrow and cobbled. Old and decrepit buildings line them closely with the upper stories overhanging menacingly. So we can either go west down Key Street, north along Market Street, or east down Clock Street. We're gonna go east down Clock Street. Let's go to 17. Walking along the narrow street, you see a man wearing tattered rags sitting in the gutter. His head rests on his hand and he looks thoroughly miserable. If you wish to stop to talk to him, turn to 331. If you want to keep walking east, turn to 161. Over here, this guy over here. I'm gonna go talk to him. As you approach the man, he suddenly springs up and screams at the top of his voice. He produces a dagger from his ragged clothing and leaps at you. His wild eyes belong to a man insane or possessed, and you must fight him. Madman, skill 5, stamina 5. So, Madman, skill 5, stamina 5. Okay, let's go and fight. He gets a 7, that's 12. I get a 9, that's 20. So 12 to 20. That felt good for me, but not for him, no. He gets a 6, that's 11, and I get a 6 as well, that was 17. So 11 to 17, gone. 1 stamina left. He gets a 6 again, that's 11, and I get a 9, that's 20. So 11 to 20, and this guy is done. So it's victory royale for me, but not the complete one yet because we're just starting. So anyways, we won. Let's turn it. We're gonna go to 86. Another pouch hanging around the neck of the man contains a small glass ball containing what looks like swirling smoke. Will you smash the ball on the ground, put the ball in your backpack, or leave the ball and continue east? I'm gonna smash the ball on the ground, so let's go to 45. The glass ball shatters on impact with the cobbled street. On contact with the air, smoke turns a gold color and begins to take the shape of a winged helmet. The helmet solidifies and rests on the street, sparkling in the sunlight. It's the most magnificent helmet you've ever seen. If you wish to place it on your head, turn to 376. If you want to leave it alone, turn to 161. We're gonna place it on our head. The helmet fits on your head perfectly as though it had been specially made for you. Wow, that's nice. It has magic properties also and will allow you to add 1 point to all future dice rolls and computing your attack strengths. As long as you wear it, add 1 luck point. We don't need a luck point, but we have a winged helmet. And now just say over here, during battles, winged helmet +1 to attack strength. Okay, Coolios, let's go on east. 161. The street makes a sudden left turn and continues north as far as you can see. However, you notice that around the corner of the houses are much bigger, with doorways some 4 meters high. On the left side of the street, you see that the door to one of the houses is open. If you wish to enter the house, turn to 245. If you want to keep going northwards, turn to 282. We're going to enter the house. You enter a large room with brown walls and a straw-covered floor. There is a musty smell hanging in the air which reminds you of the dirty old cave trolls that live on the northern borders. In the middle of the room is a table made from half a barrel with some roughly made stools around it. A high archway to the back. Let me see. A high archway leads through the room to the back of the house, from where you hear a low murmuring voice. If you want to walk through the archway, turn to 178. If you want to continue north, turn to 282. I'm going to walk through the archway. The archway leads into a large room in the center of which crouches a human-like creature some 3 meters tall over here. He looks very worried and is muttering something to himself. The lumps on his face are distinguishing marks of an ogre. We can either attempt to speak with him, attack him, or leave the house. I'm gonna attack him. The ogre looks unimpressed by your aggressive action and picking up a large bone as a weapon, he lumbers towards you. You must fight him. Okay, this will be the last paragraph for now because my Mac is on 7%. Actually, you know what? We'll end the video right now, and then maybe like a few hours later, or by tomorrow, I will continue The City of Thieves by Ian Livingstone. So that's part one for you guys, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. So then, have a great day ahead, and goodbye.